In this content, we will examine our pay statements and the important payroll-related dates they include. We understand the significance of the check date, as it indicates when funds are deposited into our accounts or when we can cash our checks. Additionally, we will review our pay periods, the number of paychecks issued in a year, pay frequencies, and other relevant information typically found on pay statements. Now let's examine this topic further. It is essential to understand the dates on your pay statement to verify the accuracy of your pay information. The most important dates to note are the pay period dates, pay frequency, and check date. The pay period dates indicate the specific time frame for which you are being paid. Pay frequency refers to how often you receive your paycheck. The pay period dates on your pay statement will correspond to your pay frequency. The check date, which is the date you actually receive your payment, is the most recognizable date on the statement. The pay period dates indicate the days for which you are being compensated and how frequently you receive your paycheck. Let's observe a conversation between two friends.
I started my new job today, and I'm excited to be getting paid on Fridays. I've never been paid weekly before.
You're lucky. At my job, we get paid every 2 weeks.
When I was teaching, we only received a paycheck once a month, so I had to budget very carefully.
Well, this pay frequency will be a nice change for you.
There are generally 4 pay frequencies: weekly, bi-weekly, semi-monthly, and monthly. For weekly, you're paid every week. For example, you get paid every Monday. There are 52 pay periods per year. With bi-weekly, you're paid every other week. For example, you get paid every other Friday. There are 26 pay periods per year. Semi-monthly means that you're paid twice a month. For example, you get paid on the 1st and 15th of the month, or 15th and the last day of the month. There are 24 pay periods per year. With monthly, you're paid the same day each month. For example, you get paid on the 1st of every month. There are 12 pay periods per year. There is an exception to the amount of pay periods per year for weekly and bi-weekly frequencies. Let's examine that now. If you are paid on a weekly or bi-weekly frequency, there's a possibility that you will receive an extra payment for the year depending on the day of the week you are paid. For example, if you are paid every week on Friday, there is a possibility that a year will contain 53 Fridays. Monthly and semi-monthly do not have the possibility of additional pays because they are based on the month. Maximum pay frequency. The laws in the state you work in will dictate how long you can go between paychecks. No state allows a pay frequency beyond monthly, so for regular payments of your time worked, you'll never go longer than a month between payments. Your employer can pay you more frequently than the maximum for your state. For example, if the maximum frequency for your state is semi-monthly, your employer can choose to pay weekly or bi-weekly instead. You can receive additional compensation like bonuses on a quarterly or annual basis, but for regular payments of your time worked, it cannot be longer than a month. Want to look up the maximum pay frequency for your state? Visit the Department of Labor to find out. Go to www.dol.gov/agencies/WHD/state/payday. There you will find everything you need to know about pay frequencies for your state. The check date is a big deal because it is the date that the net pay is made available to you. It dictates when tax liabilities are considered incurred. How does this impact you? Well, not too much, but perhaps you get paid on January 2nd for time worked in December. Because you were paid in January, it will be included in your year-to-date balances for the new year. Even though it was time worked in December, you were paid in January, so it's reported in the new year. For your employer, this impacts a lot. The tax deposits and filings are impacted. Dates are one of the most important aspects of payroll and therefore are a critical element of your pay statement. In addition to pay period dates, there is other important information on your pay statement. In many places, state law dictates the information that must be included on your pay statement. Even in jurisdictions where it is not required by law, it is a best practice to always include the employer name and address. In this example, you may notice that there are 2 names for the company listed on your pay statement. In this case, Pearson Enterprises and DBA Togo's Sandwiches. The letters DBA stand for doing business as, another name. There are several reasons companies use a DBA, for example, in order to operate under a different name or to market the business in a different way. Your employer may list additional information about you in this section of your pay statement. Things such as your department, your time clock number, etc. This information will vary by employer and is not required on your pay statement, but may be included because it can be helpful. At this point, we are going to just stick with reviewing these details of the pay statement. We will review additional areas in future lessons. Your employer may list additional information about you in this section of your pay statement. things such as your department, your time clock number, etc. This information will vary by employer and is not required on your pay statement, but may be included because it can be helpful. At this point, we are going to just stick with reviewing these basic details of the pay statement. We will review additional areas in future lessons.